Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are at St. Peter and Paul's in East Harling, Norfolk, and I have some notes written down, so we're going to have a wander around and a bit of a waffle. So let's get started. Let's excuse the cars because the road is literally right behind me. So we have a quick scooch at the church itself. Obviously with a flag for Ukraine flying at the moment. So there's been a church recorded on this site going back as far as the Domesday Book, which is at least 1,000 years, and it's probably been a site for several thousand years. I'm walking on rough ground and I've got a bad back at the moment. But most of the current building dates to between 1300 and 1340. I have some views over the yard as well. Sir Robert Hurling, whose tomb is actually in the Lady Chapel, founded the church initially. His daughter Lady Anne and her two husbands, William Chamberlain and Sir Robert Wingfield, and their families continued to fund the church up into the 15th century, and it was mostly complete in its present guise by the middle of the 15th century. The east window is finished in the latter half, and we do have a millennial garden, which this time of year isn't going to look the best, but hey, forget-me-nots and lobelia are out. We also have a bug hotel, hidey hole for various pieces of creature. The parapet and the spire were completed towards the end of the 15th century, and the spire is inspired Sir Peter Mancroft in Norwich in 1882 when that was built. The Hurling emblems are on show around the church in various places, inside, outside, up in the architecture. And up from here, excuse as usual the god awful camera work, and also excuse the minor heresy, taking the Lord's name in vain and all that. But the Hurling family emblems include the unicorns, birds, the baskets and the feather quivers, which feature throughout. There's a major restoration. Yes, we've got bins. To my American viewers, that's what an English wheelie bin looks like. The major restoration was complete in 1871, cost £1,500, and it saw the box pews replaced with the current pews, gave the chancel roof a scissor beam design, and restored the overall roof and spire. Now if we look down here, we have the news section of the graveyard. He says, aiming the camera into the sky. So we won't go down there, I don't think, and have a look, because everything down there is fairly new. I think the back corner over there somewhere is a bit older, but we will avoid the new areas. It's always best to avoid fresh graves, as it were. The walls are made of flint with ashlar dressings. As you can see, there's a new section been built here, which is sympathetic at least to the original design and materials used. The roof is made from lead, so it's probably been robbed out at some point. And the spire is supported, or the roof and the spire are supported by 8 flying buttresses. I like buttresses. The buttress walls are also flint with ashlar dressings. Now, the porch is knacked flint and local stone. Now the organ, not that kind of organ, you dirty people. We'll just have a quick look, because we do have some stained glass. Not showing too well from the outside, but not sure if we're going to go in. There might be a service underway. The organ, as I was saying, was made by J.D. Walker and Sons in 1854 for St James's Church in Hatcham in London. It was moved to East Harling in 1982, and the smaller organ it replaced went to Binham Priory. Now, there is a full ring of 8 bells. Now, there's quite a lot of information about these that I managed to find. The second and the treble bells were cast by Mears and Stainbank in 1908 for the St John de Sepulchre in Norwich. They were rehung here in 1992. The third and the fourth were cast by Thomas Gardner in Norwich in 1746. The fifth was cast by Christopher Grave of Hadnam Ely. The sixth was cast by John Darby of Ipswich in 1677 and recast by Taylors of Loughborough in 1912. And if you were to read that, you'd think it was pronounced Loughborough. It's pronounced Loughborough. The seventh was cast by John Draper in Thetford in 1616, also recast by Taylors of Loughborough in 1912. The tenor bell was cast in Norwich in 1520. It weighs around about 500 kilos or about 1,000 pounds. Now, there are 5 tombs inside the church of the Harling, as the name got changed over the years, as names tend to historically. We'll have a quick there's Harling Hall. There's still a house, people live there, so we won't zoom in on anything. So we have tombs of the Harling families, 5 of and the Lovell families. Sir Robert Hurling of 1435 and Lady Joan, Lady Anne Hurling in 1498 and her husband Sir William Chamberlain, 1462. Turn my notes over. Grave diggers. It's a rabbit. There's quite a lot of rabbits around here, I would think. Next up on the list of impressive tombage is Sir Francis Lovell and his wife Dame Anne Lovell, 1550 and 1551. And we have Sir Thomas Lovell, son of Sir Francis, and his wife Dame Elizabeth, 1557 and 1591. Another Sir Thomas Lovell and his wife Dame Alice in 1604 and 1602. The east window, as I've said, dates to the 15th century, with the top lights being 19th. There are 20 main panels with 16 scenes from joyful, sorrowful and glorious mysteries of Mary. I'm used to the mysteries of Mary, but there's a wild Mary. There are also 2 fragments to depict the donors. The window has been twice removed, and here we are. I believe this is the east. We can't see much of it because A, the sun's not in the right direction, and B, we're outside. So it was removed twice, once in 1640 to avoid the Puritans destroying it. Back to that Henry VIII type stuff again. And the second time was during World War II to prevent everything being destroyed by German bombers or crashing English ones, because we're not far from Snetterton and Quidnam air bases. So B-17s, I think. But there we go. A quick wander around the church of East Harling in Norfolk. And I hope I've managed to get at least some semi-decent footage and some semi-interesting waffle going on. We'll make our way back round to the front so we can see the porch made out of the locally sourced and knapped flint and stone. And back up once again See the rather impressive spire, which I'm actually going to zoom in on. It is very posh indeed up there. Certainly an impressive church for what was at the time a very small village. It's not exactly a big village anymore. If we're wondering roughly where we are, yeah, we're in the middle of the countryside. So there we go. I'll do a quick switchy roundy, face the camera to say goodbye, and we'll be done. Haha, there we go. Right. So, thank you very much for watching. I hate doing this to face because everything's back to the front. Hope you've enjoyed, perhaps learned something. Hopefully we've not been too offensive or heretical during this. But thanks for watching. Peace out. No. Bye bye. Like, comment, subscribe.